2025, class number 818. From want to have. From want to have. Foundation scriptures, Matthew 13, verse 12 and 13, and Matthew 25, verse 29. And let's start by reading Matthew 13. Open it up and web the wrong one. Okay. Matthew 13. Matthew 12. No, I'm right. 13, verse 12 and 13. He says, for to him who has shall be given, and it shall increase to him. But to him who has not, even that which he has shall be taken away from him. This is the reason that I speak to them in figures, because they see and yet cannot perceive, and they hear and yet do not listen, nor do they understand. You see, what was going on here was all these people that gathered around, and Jesus was teaching on it was the parable of the seed, the sower. The sower goes forth and he sows some seed, and he sowed it in. He threw it on the ground, and the birds came and ate it all up right away. And the sun was scorching it, and then he threw it on some soil which had a bunch of rocks, and it was rocky. And it couldn't get any root because the rocks were there. I'm sure you all have heard this story a million times. And then he threw some down, but it was a bunch of weeds, thorns and thistles over in there, and it choked it all out. And then he threw it over on good soil, and it sprang up, some 30-fold, some 60-fold, and some 100. And he says, why are you talking to him in figures? And that's what he was saying. If you have what? The understanding. If you don't have any understanding, you got eyes and you don't perceive. Well, he should have just said eye, because we talked about the third eye last week. We talked about the pineal. So if you don't have faith to understand that the seed has to fall into the ground and die, well, the only kind of ground it can die in is good soil. Good soil represents the consciousness that can see or perceive, the consciousness that can perceive, the consciousness that can understand. Then that consciousness expands if you get more. But if you can't understand, if you don't perceive, if you got ears and you don't hear, you don't listen, that's the most important part. You don't listen. The revelation does not come. And if the revelation does not come, then what happens? You lose what little bit you had. That means, oh, wait a minute. I started out, I thought I was in faith. I thought I was trusting, and I was trying to bring forth. I thought I was being patient. No. See, the only thing I'm being patient for is what? A revelation. And when the revelation takes place, I completely understand. And when I completely understand, wow, a manifestation takes place. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I want to get this out there first. Manifestations don't happen out here. Manifestations happen within. Remember, we started talking 2 weeks ago about you bring the idea in front of the mind's eye, and that eye casts light on it, and that light casts a shadow, and the shadow is what you see out here. You don't. If you start out here, you lost already, because you're trying to do something about something out here. Then he goes on in, let's see, what did I say? Matthew 25. That's just a few scriptures over. 29. Matthew 25, verse 29. I'm in 24, my bad. 25, verse 29. He says it again. For him, or for to him who has, it shall be given, and it shall increase to him. But he who has not, even that which he has, shall be taken away from him. This was the one where he gave somebody some talents. He gave one like 1 talent, 1, 2, and he gave the other one like 5. I'm going to be talking from what I remember about this because I don't want to go into reading because it's just, there's no need for me to just read this line for line. I can just tell you the story. So the guy, the owner, the great steward, the wealthy man, gave 3 servants some talent. He gave one 1, 2, and 1 5. That might as well say he gave him some money. And he went away on the journey. When he came back, the one with 5 talents had increased it to 10. The one that had 2 talents increased it to 5, and the one who had 1 talent didn't increase it to anything at all. And Jesus used the same analysis. He used the same understanding, the revelation, to him that had. He says, take the one who had, who didn't do anything. He buried it in the ground and said, I know how shrewd my master is, and so therefore, here it is, the same way you gave it to me when you came back. You know, that's ridiculous. You know, if you give me something, I'm supposed to take it and expand it and turn it into something greater. But that's where we make the mistake. People take off. And the guy with 5 actually had a greater understanding of what it means. You see, what did Jesus say? In and of myself, I can do nothing, but the Father within, he doeth the works. So the one with the greatest understanding was the one that understood that God is the one that does the multiplying. He says, but, you know, if you don't understand that what you think you got is going to go away, you're going to lose it. He goes on in that chapter and talks about, you know, wailing, crying. You'll be in punishment. But who's punishing you? Not God. You're punishing yourself. You're saying, man, you know, I had this, man, how could I make that kind of mistake? Then you get guilty, you go off into condemnation, and you got all kinds of stuff going against you. But in reality, God's not punishing you because to him who does not have, it is taken away. He's wasting it away. I've had all kinds of stuff. Been trying to make it all my whole life and what have you. And it keeps getting blown away. It's done away with. It goes away. Why? Well, I was not supposed to be earning my keep by the sweat of my brow. That has nothing to do with prosperity. That has nothing. I hear preachers, they talk about it all the time. They say, oh, well, God will bless you with a promotion. But to them, the promotion is, okay, I was a third class, and I got a promotion up to a second class. Or I'm out here, I'm doing this, and now they've given me more authority, and this, but you still got a they and you still got a me. In reality, once my consciousness expands out to the point that I understand that I don't need a me, I don't need a they, I don't need them, well, promotion takes place within. Expanded consciousness to him that has. How many people have you known want stuff and just keep on wanting it and keep on wanting it and wanting and wanting and wanting, and they get a little piece of something, the I know the most about is the entertainment industry, the music industry, the acting industry. Those people who want and want and want, they go through great measures, but they don't understand. They're not expanding their talent. What they're doing is they are multiplying their punishment because they're being asked to take compromised positions. I'll just leave it like that. You're going to be asked to do a lot of things that do not, those things don't go along with your character, with who you are. You're going to make deals, and some lawyer, some attorney, you got all these people around you that's going to say, well, you know, I can help you get to here if you can do this, but it's always got something with it, and you have to compromise some of your convictions. If that be the case, I saw people compromise a whole bunch of their convictions in the entertainment industry as well as in the commercial business industry where I work. There were people that were just kissing up to a whole lot of people trying to get promoted, and what they think it all happens out here. Yet I didn't do any of that. And I was promoted several times, even when I didn't expect it. I had people trying to stop the promotion, and they went on. And, you know, it just dawned on me one day, you getting promoted because, first of all, you don't want to be here. You want to be in some music somewhere. And number two, you don't care. You don't care about your job. You really don't care. You're just coming here, showing up, doing it, and you know that the person ahead of you could have done better, and you knew you could do a better job of it. So therefore, because you know that, and you have that understanding, you're going home at night. We're talking 1987. This is 7 years after I run into Joel Goldsmith. I run into Joel Goldsmith in 1980. In 1982, my mother told me, you need to read the book of Haggai. God told me to tell you to read Haggai. I told y'all that story before. And again, last week, I could hear her saying it. And then the other morning, I woke up, and there I'm, read the book of Haggai. I read it again. And then I think about it back then, from 82, in 83, I go and find a job in human resources, and then I start getting promoted. And in 4 years, I'm the manager of human resources, and then that means manager of employment. I still had a director. Then I moved up into another position, manager of all of the human resources department where I was, because the director had moved on to the division. And then I was promoted to a senior manager. And it's like, I wasn't doing anything to make any of that happen. A lady just walked up to me one day, and she's my friend to this day. She walked up to me and she said, Michael Orr, we just bid a new contract. And we bid that contract, and we're going to need a human resources manager. She said, will you take the job? That was it. That was my interview. Will you take the job? I looked at it, I said, well, if Motown doesn't call me by the time y'all get that deal process through, then I'll take the job. She said, yeah, well, I'll see you on the job because Motown ain't called you up to now. And we went on, and I went on and took that job. That was in 98. And then in 2000, I left because my wife was like, well, you might as well go on and, you know, try out for, keep moving in your music and what have you. But I didn't take that attitude with music. I kept trying to earn my keep by the sweat of my brow, submitting all these songs to different people, trying to make contacts in New York and L.A., trying to go and deal with different, and I was doing that all along the way, getting promoted on this one side in the business side, in government contracts, just getting promoted like you wouldn't believe, because I wasn't trying to do nothing. Only thing I was trying to do was get out of there. But on the music side, nothing was changing. Nothing. Why? Because my mind was constantly on how can I get to the next level? How can I get somebody to buy into this? Then what? I got a couple of people to buy into what I was doing. And then after they bought in, they stole some my music. Then there was the Al Green and Ann Nesby record. This was in 2002. And they put the record out, but then the next thing you know, I'm kind of getting cheated. I'm still trying. That's okay. God help me. And God is nowhere near what's going on with that music thing. You see, you need to understand, had I understood what I'm getting ready to tell you right now, then things would not have turned out the way they did. You see, I had an eye to perceive and understand, but I couldn't. Because my eyes, these two, were looking out here. That single eye was looking where? Well, it was supposed to have been looking at the fact that the thing was already done, but that ain't what it was looking at. It was still trying to get it done, get it done, get it done. Well, your desire for whatever, I don't care what it is, your desire is the universe's. When I call the universe, I call God. But nowadays, it's what do they call that? It's more spiritual or metaphysically correct to say the universe. I'm still saying God. It's God's wish or God's will. Remember now, we're talking about your desire to do what it is that you're dreaming of doing. That's God wishing or willing to express through your consciousness. That's God wanting to express. You see, because I was leaving everything alone on that business side, the federal contracting side, because I left it alone, God was expressing. You know, water just flowing right on there. Promotion after promotion. Just rolling. But over here on the artistic side, I'm cutting the water. I got a choke. You ever gone to the gas station and put the pump down and put the nozzle down inside of your gas tank? You put it on the side there where you stick it in, and the gas won't come out. Anybody ever done that? The gas is not coming out. You trying, but the gas is not coming. That's because there's a knot in the hose, or it's hung up on the side of the thing, and it's choking off the flow. That's what I was doing. My foot was on, feet mean understanding. My lack of understanding was choking out the flow of God coming through. Not doing that anymore now. I was like, wow, man, why is it so easy for me to just let a song flow through? I can get up from here right now and go sit down at the piano and write a song. Why? Because I'm not trying. I'm not choking it out. I'm not squeezing it. I'm not trying to meet the right flow. I hear it, I go, I play it, boom, done. Can play it without ever having played it before because the flow of God is coming through. But when you're trying to do that, you choke it off. Remember now, behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man do what? Open up, my Father and I will come in and sup. No, we're going to all eat together. What we going to eat? The word, the truth, the flow of the Spirit. That's all. Jesus said, my yoke is easy. How is it easy, Jesus? Quit trying to bring this thing to pass and just realize, that's God's thing. We said it's the Father that doeth the work. Problem is, I don't know about you, but back then I didn't know what the Father was. I was trying to go to God and say, hey, you gave me this talent. I don't want to be that guy that buried it down in the hole and then said, Lord, I kept it. I don't want to be that guy. I want to be the one that doubled it, that turned 5 into 10. I want him to say, give him the other talent. So when he can write music, he can sing. Well, give him somebody to sing it to. Give him somebody to play for. Give him all that we can give him right now. Not, oh, he doesn't understand. My yoke's easy. I'm just going to let you do this. Go ahead, God. Do your thing. Why? What thing? You mean the thing that I've already done? Remember, what God does is done for us. And nothing can be put to it, and nothing taken away. Isn't that amazing? God is saying, hey, I've done this, man. Now, I stand at the door. I, God, stand at the door of your consciousness to express my infinity. I'll express through you forever. Problem is, you got the mindset on, you think you're this guy that you see in the mirror. That's not who you are. You are conscious awareness, spirit, truth, the way. This is what happens when every day you're sitting there contemplating the I ams, the 7 statements of Jesus. Every day without fail, 2 and 3 times a day, Michael Orr is doing that. I am the way, the truth, and the life. I am the light of the world. I am the resurrection and the life. When I got the resurrection and the life yesterday, guess what? I stopped and went, whoa, wait a minute. I am the resurrection. What am I resurrecting? Dude, the life that you had back then when you were designed to try to get your career up and off the ground and move, that's already been resurrected. It's just you're now realizing. You're realizing things that you said were wrong with your body, you resurrected. Just don't come back to me asking me to do something that I did already. I have. What is it that I have? I have God in consciousness. I have all things. All desire already manifested. You ever thought about that? If you truly, truly understand, to him that have what? God. What is God? Substance. What is substance? Understanding. Understanding what? That there can be no shortages. Nothing can be missing in God. If I have God, I have all things. I mean, we did this one week, all things are yours. If you have God, what could you not have? What could be missing in your life? You say, well, I look out here and I see all kinds of stuff. I see all kinds of stuff that we don't even say appear to be missing. What do we say? How do we say it? We tactfully say, I need this and I need that. I need to see this. Why do we need what eye are you looking with? I need to see within me that this thing has been done, was done since before the foundation of the world. That was Jesus' success. He knew beyond the shadow of a doubt that there was nothing that was hindering him. See, you got to remember, Jesus already saw himself off the cross, out of the grave, and up walking around even before he went up on this. My daughter told me the other day when she called, she said, I'm leaving in the morning. That was Tuesday night. She said, I'm leaving Wednesday morning. She said, I heard about what's going on around here in D.C. and, just pray for my safe trip and this. I said, Shauna, I've already seen you and me and Jamal. We've had a good time. Lisa, the kids, we've already had a good visit with you. And I see you unload your car back at your apartment, back in Sacramento, back in there, saying hello to your cats and feeding your cats. You back at home. And we ain't even started yet. If I'm going jogging, I see myself back in my truck, driving myself back home. I ain't going to sweat the smarter. What? I'm going to sweat enough jogging. I ain't going to be out there sweating trying to figure out, is it going to be all right? Am I going to, can I make it through all of this? Yesterday I got up. It was like, man, I'm going jogging before I get the call from Shauna that she's on her way and what have you. And I said, wow, man, I haven't had anything to eat. You know, I might get weak out there. And I went, who is that telling me? Who going to get weak? Let the weak say, I am strong. Not just say it, just realize I don't really need food. I need to understand who I am. And if I understand who I am, I'll have enough energy, and then when it's time to eat, I'll enjoy eating. I won't worry about, am I going to gain weight? Am I going to get the right amount of what are vitamins? Am I going to, is this good for me? Is this bad for me? I'm done with it. I had to sing at a church service last week, and I told them folk, I said, look, if I'm sitting up here depending on Social Security, you can forget it. That could have been gone 30 years ago. I ain't telling what, people, they can do what they want with all that stuff, but guess what? I ain't caring about it. I realize who I am. And I realize I have to have what it is that I have. I have God. And if I have God, what could be missing? I'm going to go a little deeper into that next week on There's No Shortage in God. But today, what could be missing? Isaiah 65:24. Just one day decide, I think I'm going to meditate that. I'm going to think about Isaiah 65. I'm just going to think about it. That means I'm bringing it in front of my mind's eye. And I'm casting the shadow because the light is there. Isaiah 65:24. Before they call, I have already answered. What? Yep. Sometimes we need to go back and remind ourselves. I have answered that already. The King James says, I will answer. The Aramaic says, I have answered. I have answered. And we quote Ecclesiastes 3:14-15 all the time. God did it, it's done forever. That which has been is now. That which is to be has already been. Here's another one. Hebrews 11:3. By faith the worlds were framed by the word of God. What world? My world? Your world? And my world, once I see it within me, then it outpictures my state of consciousness. Now, last week, we were talking about she ain't gonna mind. I'm gonna bring it back up. Carolyn said, why do I keep getting all of the stuff that I don't want? What did Mom's Mabry say, Carolyn? If you keep on what? Doing what you've been doing, you're gonna keep on getting what you've been getting. Why do I keep on getting this? Because I don't change my consciousness. Well, how do I change my consciousness? I just accept the one that I am. I have no business with this out here. Because I'm going to tell you something. You are not going to change what's going on out here. You will not. What you will do is prove its unreality. It's non-reality. That's all you will prove. Jesus said, I came to fulfill, not to destroy. People all the time, they say, well, why didn't Jesus just get rid of the Romans? What? He didn't create the Romans. Why was Jesus walking past the boat? They said, don't pass me by. He didn't create that foolishness. He saw it and realized there was no reality to it. The man said, I don't have nobody to put me in the water. Jesus said, forget the water. You ain't got to get in the stirring of the water. Stir the water up in you. So I can't keep getting what I've been getting if I change my conscious awareness that I and the Father are one. I am the truth. And the state of consciousness that I am is what I'm seeing out here. when that finally hits you perfectly, what's going on out here is what I am seeing in me. And once I believe what's going on, if I believe out here is a reality, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to, everybody at one time, think this or say this out loud. Expand. I'm going to expand what's going wrong if I keep thinking about what's going wrong. But once I realize there's no good and evil, there's no opposite, all there is good. Now, if I ask you, why is it that all there is good, your answer should be because God is all there is. And if God is all there is and God is good, then what is my state of thought and feeling? What does my thought and feeling agree to? They express the desires. Why? Because my desires are good. Why are my desires good? I don't want nothing that's yours. I don't want to take part of the world's good and somebody else has to do what? Suffer as a result. So is that a blessing? I'm going to take this and then you're not going to have? No. I want my own. Well, where is my own? In me. I in me. I am my own. All things are already mine. I keep trying to create. I don't need to create anything. It's mine. I just go, thank you. Thank you what? For your grace. Grace to do what? To understand. Understand what? That it's already mine. It's too late if I got to get it. It's already mine. What is the it? Fulfillment, peace, joy, understanding, meekness. That's a big one. Because pliability is, I'm a bounce back, I'm resilient. Maybe they told me no, but that's because I was looking for them to tell me something. Did I tell me no? When I went out, did I say, oh, this could go either way? You ever said that? This could go one way or no. this could go either way. Most of the time it's going to go what? The way you don't want it to go. Because you believe it can go either way. So now what I'm going to do is express my agreement between my thought and my feeling. Now, what's happening? Desire now becomes what? Have. I desire this. Okay, well, take it off the shelf. Put it on. I have it. I desire what I have. If you don't remember anything else we say today, I desire what I already have. If I desire it, I must have it. But I have to believe that. I have to understand that. I have to have the grace to realize I have what it is I desire. See, from have within means a manifestation within and a shadow in the outer. It looks like what I see within me. Even if I don't see what it looks like within me, it's going to show up and be that which is best. In other words, I have so much trust that if I appear as a human to need something, and I turn within and realize that I have it, I ain't really got to worry about what it's going to look like because it's going to be good. It's going to be right. It's going to be that which will support me. Can you imagine? Here's Moses standing at the Red Sea. Well, even before he gets to the Red Sea, here's Moses with all of these people out here with Pharaoh saying, I ain't going to let you go. But you see, Moses had already seen them gone. Moses had already seen this whole thing was worked out. They were gone already. Then we get to the Red Sea. And what does Moses say? Let me lift up my rod. I know in the Bible it says God says lift up your rod. But in reality, if Moses does not understand who he is, could he have lifted up a rod? What do you mean understand who he is? Well, in the Aramaic text, it says on the backside of that desert, who shall I say sent me? I am the living God. Moses understood himself to be, I am the living God. What's the other fellow? Abraham? Let's see, Abraham was 75 when he rolled out to go to a new land. Moses was 80. 75, new land, what is that? I'm going to a new state. Now, wait a minute. I had all this stuff back here where I was, the Ur of the Chaldees. We got to go to Haran. We're going all the way out of here. God is going to take me to a place. Oh, wow. God is going to bless the entire world through me. I said, well, how is everybody blessed through Abraham? Through his understanding of what God is, you will be blessed in your deeds. Abraham understood what God is. And now you, by realizing I am a child of Abraham, I'm a son of Abraham, Jesus said he was. Then he said, before Abraham was, I am. So then he understood totally that he's only going to be blessed through the understanding that Abraham had, and you got to have the same understanding that Abraham has, and I got to have the same understanding that Abraham has. That means what? I don't care what appears to be going on out here. Like Les Brown said, I might be laying down out here, but I'm standing up on the inside. That's the whole point. I'm resilient. I don't care what it looks like out here. I am the fulfillment of the Christ. I have God. I have all. Now, therefore, what I desire, what I want, I have. I have gone from want to have. How? Through thought. Through feeling. Thought and feeling, I expand my consciousness. And in my awareness, I realize I can't want something that I don't have. There's no way to do that, not if I understand who I am. I always express my understanding of who I am. I either express wanting or having. If I'm expressing wanting, I easily express what? I start imagining wanting. Man, I'd be nice. I'm desiring. Not having it becomes easy to imagine having if I know all things belong to God. But see, I've been imagining the wrong thing. What am I imagining? I'm imagining, what if I had? What? You already have it. That's not what Neville means when he says imagine. Imagine living in the end. That's not what he means. What he means is, since it's already yours, imagine having it. But if you're sitting up there imagining trying to have something out here, that's not it. Imagine having what it is you desire because you already have it. That's what he means. You see, because if you don't, you're just going to keep on wanting, saying stuff like, boy, it sure would be nice to have. You ever done that? It'd be nice if I had. Man, it'd be nice if I know most people run around and go, man, if I just had a little more money. When you already got all there is to have, because God is supply. I have God. And if I have God, I have all there is to have. God is my I am state of consciousness. And all things already belong to God, to me. desires are already fulfilled. And once I understand love, thy desires are already reality. You just filled up with everything that you have to have. You're filled up with from top to bottom. That's consciousness. Jeremiah, does not my spirit fill all space? I fill up everything. Our Father who is everywhere, hallowed be thy name. Who is everywhere. There's no place that God is not. So therefore, everything is there. And everything is mine. God is my state of consciousness. Creation is complete. What does Neville say? Live in the end. Have you ever wondered, how do I live in the end? When you start trying to figure out, you start trying to get your head to wrap itself around, I have this. But you're still looking at something. In other words, if it's a car that I need, I have this car. I got this wonderful car. All these affirmations that mean nothing. But the moment you realize affirmation means I understand and agree, that means I agree and understand that I already have it because I have the idea of it. Now, living in the end, how would you live in the end? Take your mind away from being in the car. That's the after. That's the after effect. Where should your mind be? How do you live in the end? What is the end? I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. If I live in God, am I not living in the end? If my understanding is God is all there is, am I not living in the end? I am Alpha and Omega, God conscious. That is the end where we already live. What? We already live there. The kingdom of heaven is within you. We just have to recognize and acknowledge this. To him that has what? God as all things. It shall be given. You ever looked at Psalm 24? The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. The earth is the Lord's. I'm living in the Lord. I'm living in the beginning, and I'm living in the end. In Greek, the beginning means principle. And the principle always expresses the end result, the answer, before they call, I have answered. God will not withhold any good thing from those who walk upright, who walk righteously. What is walking upright? Having the consciousness to express our heart's desire. That's walking upright. I know that I have consciousness to express that thing that I desire. I must be what I am to express. As I lose my personal sense of self, the ego, I find my immaculate self, that which I am. Then it clicks. I am this vast house, this huge consciousness, which includes all that God is. Everything I want, I have. I feel this and I experience this within first. Then in the outer, the idea, the thought, the imagination, substance is being placed in front of my pineal gland, which is this eye. I see it. And because I see it, that means I perceive. Not see some image, I perceive. I understand how this works. This is the eye of faith that lights the entire body. The form, the shadow, is then cast on the screen of the world of appearances. This we call manifestation. From desire to have to the outpictured experience. You never really cast an image in the mirror until you step in front of the mirror. So when you step in front of the mind's eye, you cast the image. The trying of your faith works patience. Testing, I want this There's somebody on this class that really needs to hear this because they said, why do I keep getting what I don't want? That's a test, but it is not God testing you. Testing is the trying of your faith. It expands your consciousness. Having seen and felt the end, one wills the means to the end. That's what Trower said. Testing is not, y'all ready for this? Testing is not of the devil. When I'm getting what I don't want, it's a test. A test of what? For me to realize this is not true. This is not true. That's testing. I am sitting there realizing that I don't need to do anything to this thing that's coming to me that I don't want. I don't need to do any of that. I need to realize the untruth about it. Testing is not of the devil. The devil goes about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. What is going about seeking whom it can devour? What is it that's doing that? My thinking, my thoughts, my words. I look out here and I see stuff. This stuff is trying to devour me, but I am resilient. As it bends me down, I bounce back up because I have love, joy, peace, faith, patience, meekness, kindness, goodness. Oh, and I control myself. Simple. There is no devil. Hebrews 2:14. Jesus did what? Through his work, destroyed him who had the power of death. That is the devil. So if the devil is destroyed, why does it keep coming at me? Because you got to have the same understanding that Jesus had, and you have to destroy this devil in your conscience. So when you start thinking about how stuff is coming at me constantly, and it's just all, I had a week like that. And it's just Thursday. I had that week. You ever been doing stuff, and every time you go to do something, you knock something off the counter and it fall down, and you get mad and slam it all over in the trash can. You get mad. You go to get something out of the closet, and a couple of things fall off of the hanger down on the floor. You go, man, you just keep giving me more stuff to do. Every time I look around, I go to do this. Then you go way deep off into, man, all of the folk that I help. What people are you helping? You can't help nobody but you. And when you understand the righteousness of God as people, you loose them and let them go. Ain't no devil. But you got to do away with that devil in you. I remember when knocking, little things happening around. You plug up the vacuum cleaner, they don't want to come on, and you get this, and you go, oh man, I can't keep the space the way Cindy used to keep it. I do the best I can. My daughter coming home, and I got this vacuuming and doing this thing don't want to cut on, and you want to kick it, and you want to throw it out the trash. Then you say, oh, man, and you got all this stuff going on, stuff falling all around you. Go to take the trash out in the bag. But then you say to yourself, man, ain't no devil running about. Well, why does this stuff keep happening to me? Because you keep thinking there's a possibility. Remember, in the quantum world, all things are possible. In the quantum world, all things are possible. So you need to just get rid of that. You know what I'm saying? Clean house. The test is to clean house. That's why what Marion was saying earlier was right on. This stuff is a cleanse. It's coming at you to say, this is what's in your subconscious, and this is what you continually think about. So these images are coming at you. They don't come to me as much as they used to. In fact, They don't even come to me anywhere near as much as they used. I don't get these crazy phone calls no more. But as long as I believe that kind of stuff will happen, that's what I'm scared. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are being tested to cleanse your house. That's why you tend to keep getting stuff you don't want. But if you add this, Romans 8:28, all things work together for good to them who love God, according to his purpose. Hallowed be thy name, set apart for a specific purpose. You are cleansing the temple. You are cleansing the temple. Why didn't Jesus go back and see if the what were they? The people who were buying and selling in the temple. Why didn't he go back there to see if they were doing it again? He cleansed it from within his own conscience. He went from I can't to I can. He ain't had no devil. Then he looked at Peter one day and he said, Peter, you know what? The devil, what? He has come to sift you like wheat. He said, but I have prayed. And when you are converted, strengthen your brother. You see that? You see, all things, as I said, in this quantum world, they are possible. But you have to believe that you are the I am awareness. The Father within has already done the work. Your job is to accept what the Father has done. You are converted. You are already converted. I'm going to close with in Haggai, in the 2nd chapter. It says, at one point he talks about, you went to the meal barrel and you thought you had, I don't remember the number, but you thought you had 20 shekels and you didn't have a 5. You planted all this stuff out there and you wanted to, I smote it with blight. You thought you had this and I blew it away. That makes you feel like God has blown it away, right? But what you don't understand is it is your understanding. I'm talking to me now. It was my understanding of what God is that was blowing it away. I thought I had, you ever done this? Oh, wow, man, I forgot to put this in my checkbook. I thought I had $100 and I ain't got but $50. Oh, man, I thought such and such was going to do this. He ain't going to do this at all. He said no. It could go either way. But it says, consider now in your heart, for there is no grain for the seed in the threshing floor and the vine. And as yet the fig tree and the pomegranate, the olive trees, have not brought forth. From this day I will bless them, says the Lord. The thing that you have been trying to do, Michael Orr, from this day forward, I will bless it. Because you are no longer choking it off. You realize God is in his heaven. You have God. And if you have God, you have all that there is to have. You have gone from desire to I have. Because you're done not having. What I desire, I have. Amen. So it is.